me. I was kind of hoping that with a more stable feeling, maybe what I would get is, or even back to my more interesting dreams. That's all. That's
Right.
silly. I wondered if you had any thoughts or advice about dreams and trying to remember them.
Um, if you are in a gallery and you are seeing an impressionistic painting across the way,
Mm-hmm.
you could get closer and the subject will seem to come into focus. But that's not a mechanical thing in the brain. I mean, in the eye, it's in the brain. And you might imagine that you'd have a sense of, I just want to get really clear on this and read the number on the house in that impressionistic painting. But that information is not there and it's not meant to be there. And if you rest it, then you destroy the impressionistic nature. And I think it's possible that dreams are well served to be thought of that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they right now, if you just look out your window, there's only one thing in focus. Your brain tells you it's all in focus, but only one thing's in focus. And you can look around, but basically, if there's 1,000 things, 999 are out of focus and one is in focus. And and so you can't focus on what's not in focus, right? Without changing that it's in
Focus.
focus.
Yeah, without changing focus.
But dreams allow you to focus on the unfocused. Everything is unfocused in terms of detail, in terms of rationale, in terms of memory, in terms of meaning, and it's all a little diaphanous. It's all a little bit looking through a frosted shower door. It's all a little bit looking through the fog. It's all as if it's a story presented by a impressionist. And you wouldn't want to be like a an architect taking the report of the impressionist and saying, like, torturing them for more and more detail, because that's how you draw, because you're going to destroy the impressionists. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a healthy way to look at it. It's always going to be a little askew, a little misremembered, a little fanciful, a little fuzzy, all that kind of a stuff. I think it's kind of meant to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
yes, I guess it is that way. It's a different experience than I have had in my life for a long period of time now, but that's okay. It's an interesting difference.
Yeah. For my part, once I started Tai Chi, I stopped doing dreams. So that's been my experience.
Interesting.